Welcome, everybody, to the Montgomery County Council of PTA's Celebration of Excellence Awards. My name is Allison Seymour. I'm a morning news anchor at Fox 5 and also one of the hosts of Good Day DC. But tonight, I am here as a proud Montgomery County parent myself with 3 kids in the school system, 2 at Whitman and 1 at Pyle, and I wouldn't be anywhere else in the state of Maryland. I'm so happy to be here tonight. I want you to know, maybe in your programs, my partner, Wisdom Martin, was supposed to be here, but he has 3 kids too, and he lives way out and had a family emergency and wasn't able to be with us tonight. But again, I know he is so sorry that he could not be here. One thing I do know from the very first PTA meeting I ever went to at Wood Acres Elementary School when my kids were going into kindergarten was how dedicated the volunteers of Montgomery County really are, and the educators and the staff at the schools and the faculty and everybody from whatever job to whatever job in the school system, dedicated educators, faculty members, staff members, and especially tonight, parents and volunteers. And we are so happy, I'm so happy to be a part of this evening in the newly branded MCCPTA Celebration of Excellence. Everyone in this room is here because you have agreed to help every child in Montgomery County reach their full potential, which is a beautiful thing. And tonight we look forward to hearing the stories and some award-winning volunteers, educators, as well as displaying the amazing creative talents from our students in Montgomery County Public Schools. And speaking of talented MCPS students, we hope you didn't miss the spectacular dance performance from Loiterman Middle School students during the opening reception. Did everybody see that? Can we have a round of applause for those students? And Aiden Douglas's gold medal winning performance from the NAACP Act So competition. Like Miss Simone Hicks' rendition of Rise Up, again, let's give them all a rousing round of applause. And now we ask that everybody please literally rise up and remain standing for the presentation of colors by the cadets from John F. Kennedy High School Color Guard under the direction of Chief Sharon D. Rogers and the playing of the national anthem. Sharp, right? John F. Kennedy High School Color Guard. Thank you so much. After graduating from MCPS, many students leave for college campuses far and wide, but thousands others enroll right here at Montgomery College. The sprawling three-campus community college has more than 60,000 students matriculating, and it has partnered with MCPS to create a support program for those students who need help transitioning from high school to a college diploma. The college has generously donated to MCCPTA's event this evening and supporters of the organization's future endeavors. So let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Sharon Fector, who currently serves as the Dean of Humanities and Acting Provost for the Tacoma Park campus.
Thank you so much, Allison. Good evening. Buenas tardes. I'm Dr. Sharon Ahern Fector. I'm the Dean of Humanities at Montgomery College, and I have recently been serving as the Acting Vice President and Provost of our Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus. Did I mention that I'm also a professor of Spanish? So that's where the Buenas tardes came from. I welcome you on behalf of our Vice President and Provost, Dr. Brad Stewart, and on behalf of our President, Dr. Darian Pollard. We are so very pleased to host this event with you tonight in our Cultural Arts Center. Montgomery College really is a fitting place to celebrate excellence, excellence within MCCPTA, MCPS, and at MC. Our missions are very similar. The PTA mission is to make every child's potential a reality. And the mission of Montgomery College is to empower our students to change their lives and to enrich the life of our community. Both missions rely heavily on access to high-quality education in order to achieve these goals. We have both been putting students first for over 70 years. One of the central narratives of the American dream has been that this country has always been a nation that provides access to opportunity. Many have long believed that the United States is a place where this opportunity should not be based exclusively on wealth or family position or inherited status. We have been a land where many people without these benefits have been successful. One of the realities of the late 20th and now the 21st century is that opportunity has come to depend even more heavily on education. And that education has become increasingly expensive and frequently out of reach for many communities. Public education really is a public good. It benefits all of us in the community. However, in our times, this requires us to create new ways of thinking about education, opportunity, and partnerships. I personally am increasingly appreciative how the role that MCPS and MCCPTA play as true partners with us in achieving our mission, and how that role has grown exponentially in the last few years. Our work together is impressive indeed. Like the wonderful people at MCCPTA, we at Montgomery College also believe that every student has the potential to be an inspired, committed, and successful learner. Our community has the ability to make learning come alive for all of our students. The future of our community is inextricably tied to our ability to enable each and every child to learn and to grow. Middle schools, high schools, and colleges, and we are together with you in this, face a very difficult task: equipping students to succeed in a competitive global economy, in a knowledge-based society, and a hyper-connected digital age. When these students graduate and enter the job market, they will need knowledge, flexibility, ingenuity to thrive in jobs that have not yet been invented. How do we possibly prepare them for these jobs, jobs that don't currently exist? Well, we all know in this room that they will always need a blend of academic, technical, and employability skills. Skills like critical thinking, collaboration, communication. They will need to be adaptable, to learn from failure, and to move on. These new realities, in both its wonderful opportunities and also with their challenges, are among the main reasons that we are all working so hard to transform education in Montgomery County. We can never again distinguish between preparing students for either college or a career or a richer, more connected life. We must prepare them for all of these, not tracking, not limiting, not forcing choices, but expanding opportunity and expanding horizons. We have been advocating tirelessly to make college more affordable, no matter where a student comes from or how much money their parents have. How? We promote student success by encouraging faculty, for example, to redesign courses using open educational resources and to employ pedagogies that engage, connect, and support student learning. This makes education more affordable at the level of higher education, and it decreases their time to complete a degree. Students now have the option of perhaps having another course instead of buying very expensive course materials. We are working closely to ensure that MCPS students can take college-level courses while they are in high school, and scores of MCPS students have done and are doing just that. In a most recent initiative, for example, last Friday at our commencement, 8 MCPS students walked across the stage and graduated with an Associate of Arts or an Associate of Science from Montgomery College. This before their official high school graduation. That was a true partnership highlight and a testament to the collaboration that has been growing between our institutions. We remain keenly focused on student success, as do you, and we all play a role in shaping the experiences of these students. We are so delighted to have our partners in education here in the Cultural Arts Center to celebrate excellence. I have no doubt that this will be a wonderful evening for all, and especially for our students present. Thank you so much for joining us. Muchas gracias. Buenas tardes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fector. That's actually amazing. So you graduate from high school and you graduate with an associate's degree from Montgomery College. That's very amazing. She deserves really another round of applause. Thank you. What a great resource in our own backyard. Well, before we jump into the awards, we would like to welcome to the stage for some brief acknowledgments, presidents of the MCCPTA and one of tonight's awardees, Ms. Lynn Harris.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. And some of you may not know, but I have spent the past 2 years as a teacher in Montgomery County Public Schools. I teach medical science with clinical applications at Thomas Edison High School. And I wanted to echo some of the things that Dr. Fechner just said, because just this past Tuesday, I brought my students, all of whom are fourth marking period seniors, which, anyway, and I brought them down to visit the Health Sciences building here at Montgomery College, and in particular to meet with some of the students and faculty in the nursing program. And I was so incredibly impressed with the facilities and the faculty and the students, and so were my students. And I really do, and Dr. Smith, you and I spoke about this just yesterday. I see such power in the partnership between Montgomery County Public Schools and MCC and Montgomery College to make, my vision is that some of my students could walk out the door with a real partnership with Montgomery College. They graduate from MCPS, and 18 months later, they have an RN degree. And I really think that's possible. And that's because of this incredible partnership that we have. And it's because we have such an environment in this county of let's see what's possible and let's make it happen. And it's a privilege, I think, to teach in this school system and to be a parent advocate in the school system. So I just wanted to say that. And I wanted to thank all of you for coming out tonight, and I wanted to thank all of you who spend so much of your time volunteering to support our schools and our students and our communities, because the work that you do matters deeply, deeply, deeply. And I firmly believe that. One of the things I'm most proud of this past year, and I'm proud of a lot that MCCPTA has accomplished this year, but one of the things I'm most proud of is that we have very intentionally set forth on building a partnership with our student counterparts, the leaders in Montgomery County Regional Student Government and their colleagues in the student governments of all of our middle and high schools. And I have seen very dramatically, especially since February 14th and the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shootings, the power and the initiative and the organizing power of some of those youth who have all been taught in our Montgomery County classrooms. And we have worked very closely with our counterparts in student government this year, and I invited them all to join us, both the outgoing members of their leadership team and the incoming members of their leadership team. And they wanted to be here, but their final board meeting of the year was scheduled for tonight. However, they aren't there. Any of you who follow any of these young, powerful organizers on Twitter know that they are at the White House right now. And they are protesting because on Tuesday, the U.S. Department of Education Secretary Betsy DeVos testified before a House committee to say that it was up to individual schools to decide whether or not they wanted to report their undocumented students. And the one thing I thought was maybe Betsy DeVos needed to go to a public school, because if she had, she would know that that's a violation of the Constitution. And not recently. The decision, Plyer v. Doe, was in 1982, and it said it is our duty and responsibility in public education to teach every student, and we do not care where they came from. So, as a testament to some of the important work I think our organization has done this year, it took our subcommittee, our school climate and subcommittee chair, Gillian Hubner, who's here tonight, about 9 nanoseconds to write a very substantive response to this, which hopefully those of you who are subscribed to any of our listservs saw. And because of our very robust and powerful partnership with Montgomery County Public Schools, that statement that Gillian drafted was translated into 7 languages within 12 hours. And that, I think, is the work that I am most proud of this year, that we are standing up to our responsibility to serve every single student in our school system and every family in our school system. So I applaud our student leaders who are standing in front of the White House right now saying, every student matters. And I excuse them completely for not being here with us tonight. And I will say, I have gotten a little bit of pushback this year from people who looked at some of the work we were doing in MCCPTA with our resolution in support of our undocumented families, with our resolution supporting the national call to action against gun violence in the United States and other similar pieces of work, to say that we were taking too hard of a left turn. And to them I say, if you want to do this job, you can do this job, because we're all volunteers. So, and part of the privileges, one of the privileges of taking on this work is that you get to set the priorities of the organization. So in that vein, I had a very interesting opportunity just last week. A former president of this organization reached out to me because a woman who spent decades advocating for the students and the schools in Montgomery County died last week. Her name was Mary Ann Bowen. And in in putting together the arrangements to honor her life, her family decided that one of the organizations that they wanted to make a recipient of memorial contributions was MCCPTA. And I was kind of flabbergasted to get that call, but also very honored that the family would see her work decades ago as still relevant and powerful. And so I thought, we need to understand who this woman was. And it turns out that she was very involved in MCCPTA and in the school system. And her passions were helping people to find their voice, to advocate for their own school's needs. And I told Frances this, Frances Frost, she's here, she's our training committee chair right now. Her other passion was training other volunteers. And what I told the family is, if our organization receives any contribution, memorial contributions in Mary Ann Bowen's honor, we will make very, very, very sure that any of that money, that money goes to promote the issues that she cared about. But the fact that she, decades after her very involved service, felt that we were an organization that was still relevant and powerful and meaningful in this county spoke volumes to me as someone who's been involved in this organization for about a decade now, that what you all do, what all of you do to support our school, whatever it is, you're the membership chair, you run the book fair, you're the treasurer, you do the communications piece, it all matters. All of it makes your school better. Any second of time that you spend volunteering in your child's school, teachers that are here, administrators that are here, the partnerships that you build with your communities and your parents, it all makes our schools better. And we're all here to serve our students. And the best way that we serve our students is to have the best schools that we possibly can. So that's all I have to say right now. Thank you for coming.
And that is why I love Montgomery County. It's now time to start recognizing some of the bright stars in education for MCPS. The experience that you have as PTSA president is definitely what you make of it. Bruce Adelson has worked hard at engaging his school community and proven to be a dynamic PTSA president at Winston Churchill High School. We welcome right now Kathy Katuala to present this year's PTSA President of the Year Award to Bruce Adelson.
Good evening, everyone. This is just, they caught me by surprise. I wasn't prepared at all. So, I don't really know what to say. Well, I think I have to bring in my friend Heidi too, because the two of us, we. I don't know what to say. I'm just happy to.
May I say something? Kathy Katuala is our treasurer, and Heidi Way is one of our delegates. When they came to me and suggested, as they saw on the listserv about nominations for President of the Year, and they said, how about if we nominate you? And I said, no, why? No. But they insisted, and we have had quite a year together, an immensely successful year, rewarding year. They are both my dear friends and colleagues, and please give them a round of applause.
I think it's the first year for me to be a delegate for the PTSA. So I think we're so lucky to have Bruce to be our president, because we are together done a lot of job. You know, a lot of things is the first time, and solve a lot of school problem, a lot of things. So you can never imagine, you know, in the last year I attended each PTA like a meeting. There's just a very little, the number, the participant parents number is very less. And this year, every month we have a full house of all the parents and the students. So there are a lot of new things. So we did a lot of lunar breakfast for the teachers and Asian American festival. And all the things is new and all very appreciate. So from my heart and so from all members' heart. So that's why we are very proud of
Really
of
proud
our
of
president.
So it's great joy.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, this has really been quite a year in many, many ways, and I have to say I'm very appreciative of MCCPTA, my colleagues, and the parents and students at Churchill. And one thing that I really like what Lynn said, that if you volunteer, you get to set the tone for your organization and your priorities. And I get to say a few words tonight. Now I will tell you just briefly, I know I talk with my hands a lot. I'm from the Bronx, New York. And being at this podium reminds me of what a judge told me years ago. Mr. Adelson, I really appreciate your being a New Yorker, and we have great conversations about that, but your hand motions are just driving me crazy. So he taught me, at least it didn't work very long, to grip the podium. I'm not going to do that because he's not here, and I get to talk a little bit about what our priorities have been. And I know this is in the program, but I really wanted to reiterate something that a parent had emailed me a couple of months ago. Father of a senior at Churchill, and our son graduated 2 years ago. I recall when he was in 9th grade going to a PTSA meeting, and I was the only parent outside of the board who attended. I haven't attended a meeting since then, given the apathy, but I read all the school and PTSA emails. I wanted to commend you and your team on your great work. It seems there's so much involvement at all levels, and that really speaks to what we had decided as a priority when we met in July. Not only having a much more inclusive PTSA, a more diverse board and a more diverse organization, but also commit to advocacy. And when we talked about all the issues that we thought were significant to Churchill, when the year began, frankly, we couldn't have imagined that we would have bomb threats, shooter threats, search warrants, police involvement, emergency evacuation drills, and other related issues. But I think that all of that built towards what we had intended, which was continued advocacy, and advocacy also particularly on many issues involving tolerance, diversity, and inclusion and student stress. I wanted to conclude by urging everyone to listen to our students more, perhaps more than we do. We had a tolerance, diversity, and inclusion open forum at Churchill in October. We had parents, students, 9th through 12th graders relate very painful, heartfelt experiences. They were crying, parents and children crying. And I think that we owe it to ourselves to listen more to what they have to tell us. And that's certainly been something that we have done all year. We're going to be doing that more next year. I know that I tend to drone on, which I'm not going to do, but I very much appreciate this award and what it signifies to us, to our team, to the PTSA, and our ongoing involvement at Churchill. And in conclusion, I would like to thank my wife, Valerie, who is here. I'm sure she's waving. I don't think she's going to want to stand up, though. To say that she has been my supporter and chief of staff is an understatement. We've undergone a lot of interesting experiences this year, and I am doing this not only because of my colleagues, but most importantly because of my wife, Valerie, and our 11th grader, Michael, a student at Churchill, who approves of virtually everything that I do publicly that has any relationship to him. So I am here because he permits me to be here, and he commented when he learned of this award, "Hey, Dad, that's pretty cool. That's like all of Montgomery County?" Yeah, whoa. And then, of course, he went on to do his own thing. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for the award. I am most appreciative and honored. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The Principal of the Year has been employed by MCPS for more than 30 years and has held a wide array of administration positions in middle school, high school, and in the central office. She is currently in her 4th year as principal of Wheaton High School, and her parents and staff simply adore her. Please welcome Maggie Fox as she presents your Principal of the Year, Dr. Deborah K. Mugi.
Dr. Muggy, you better get ready to come up here. One thing I'd like to thank you for, Dr. Muggy, is teaching us how to pronounce the name of Wheaton High School. My daughter's an 11th grader there, and it's been noted that the correct pronunciation is given to the students each and every morning on the announcements. As somebody who started my own career in radio, I'm very appreciative of somebody who stops that glottal stop trend that's going on in children these days. Dr. Muggy is someone who never turns a hair at anything. I haven't seen anything throw her in the 3 years my daughter's been at the school, and that includes a fairly tumultuous start for her. We're refugees from DC public schools. There were some issues in my daughter's enrollment. Dr. Muggy weathered a storm like nobody I ever saw. I felt so supported. My daughter felt so supported. And the 3 years since have shown me that she does this for all her students. One of the first challenges that was faced when we got there was moving from an old building to a new one. And I know everyone in Montgomery County is jealous of our fabulous new school building. As you should be, it's pretty wonderful. Dr. Muggy got us moved into it with no hitches whatsoever. That building's beautiful, the move was smooth, the kids didn't miss any school, the old building's coming down. She's handled it all great. And of course, the minute we got a fancy new school building, we went from being the worst school in Montgomery County to being the most desirable school in Montgomery County, and instantly enrollment went through the roof. And before school even started, I think, you'll have to tell me if this is right, there were more students than there were classrooms, and she had to immediately cope with overflow. Did it absolutely smoothly. There have been no problems with this at all. And my daughter complains incessantly about everything, and she hasn't complained about this. The next curveball that got thrown at her was our governor changing the school year. And all of a sudden, everything had to be compressed until between Labor Day and June 15th. I'm pretty sure parents are pretty unhappy with that. Principals should have been, and I was sitting next to her at a game and said, "How are you going to cope with this?" And she said, "I can deal with that." And she did. You walk into Wheaton High School, and it has had a reputation as being a little bit rough. There were some trepidations, but the students meet your eye and smile, every one of them. I have never felt anything but friendliness and inclusion at that school. The day after a tumultuous election that surprised all of us, I was ferrying students to a practice, and in my car were a kid from a Muslim country. There was a kid whose parents had immigrated from China. There were children whose parents were from other countries as well, the Philippines, and they were discussing their families' escape plans, what they were going to do if all of a sudden they weren't welcome in this country anymore. And I tried to talk to them, and a few weeks later they said part of what made them feel safe again was being at this high school where they felt valued and treasured and protected. Dr. Muggy goes to I don't know how many athletic games. I've got a daughter who happens to be somewhat athletic, and every time I turn around, there she is, at a swim meet, at a volleyball game, at a baseball game, at a lacrosse game. She's there. Sometimes she goes to 3 or 4 in a single day. The students are so lucky to have Dr. Muggy, and so are we. I'm very grateful to you for being our principal, and I'm so happy that you've been chosen Principal of the Year.
Thank you so much. And actually, I'm the lucky one. You know, it's such an honor to be recognized by MCCPTA for doing a job that I absolutely love. And I do have to say, because I see Dr. Smith sitting here, that I actually have the best job in Montgomery County, which is being the principal of Wheaton High School. And I want to thank Maggie for the nomination and speaking and also sharing your daughter for 3 years, and we have one more year. So I'll be in those stands with you in those Saturday mornings at the pool when we're talking about how humid it is and, you know, what that does to your hair. I'd also like to thank the Wheaton High School PTSA and our athletic boosters. They have been there for our students and our staff through moving into a new building, through other types of issues that we've had to deal with. And also, as Maggie had talked about, our students are so special because we're going on about the 6th year without fields. And that's just talking about the athletes, and they're hanging in there. And we couldn't do it without the parents and the boosters and the PTSA hanging in there with us and working with our students. So I'm really thankful that we have the support of the PTSA and the boosters. I truly believe that a strong partnership between the school and our families is vital to the success of all of our children. That partnership looks different for every single family at Wheaton High School, and that's okay as long as we work together. So once again, thank you for the recognition for doing a job I absolutely love, and thank you for sending your children to Montgomery County Public Schools. Thank you.
Dr. Muggy, thank you very much. What an honor, right? I mean, Principal of the Year, what an honor, chosen by peers and parents who work so closely with you. That really does deserve another round of applause. Well, as we move along and continue with our awards presentation, advocacy. Advocacy. It is defined as the public support for our recommendation of a particular cause or policy, and it's a key part of the work that MCCPTA volunteers do. Now, this award recognizes one person who is a standout in advocating for our children. This year's nominee served as the Capital Improvements Program Chair this year and also strongly advocated for lead water testing and school playground safety. We welcome Chris Rutledge to present this year's Advocacy Award to Ms. Laura Stewart.
Hello, everybody. I have been fortunate to call Laura a friend for 10 years. Laura has inspired me through her leadership of the Woodland PTA, through serving as an Einstein Cluster Coordinator, and through those roles, she's shown how much she cares about her local community. But that's not enough for Laura. Laura takes it to the next level, and she does representation at the county level. She's served as the CIP chair. She's our incoming VP of Advocacy, and she's tireless. You see that in the posting she has on the listserv, on Facebook, the work she's done, as we mentioned, in terms of lead testing, in terms of adequately funding our buildings. You've heard the truism that we've all said here, that the buildings in which we educate our children is a direct reflection of the value we place on that. And Laura knows that, and she goes to work every day making sure that our children know that they are valued. Laura's had an impact. You've seen the differences that have happened because of improved lead testing. You've seen the success she's had in helping to advocate for Lee Middle School and making sure that that is adequately built up and fixed. Those of us at the community level are lucky to call her a community leader. Those of us in her family are proud to call her a parent and a spouse. And those of us who know her from the Woodland area are proud to call her a friend, and it is a real pleasure for me to be able to honor her tonight. So Laura, take your bows. Thank you.
And all of this is I was somewhat active in the preschool my child went to, and as he aged out, Woodland asked, would I like to come and start volunteering with them? And so I started volunteering in fundraising, and then I started seeing things that bothered me. So as I started seeing these things, I realized, well, we are part of a bigger organization called MCCPTA. So I started going to MCCPTA meetings, and I started going to BOE hearings, and I saw the room fill with parent advocates, with matching t-shirts and signs. And I said, you know, more schools need that kind of activity and the voice for their kids. So that's how I got involved in MCCPTA. And really, I see this all about the kids. It's not about the parents, it's about the kids. And so if we see our kids in a room that might not be as safe as it could be, or in a field that could be better, or suffering from asthma because there's mold issues, we need to speak up for them. And so that's why I do what I do. And if I see kids need to be helped, I think it's our responsibility to speak for them. And advocacy is more about than just complaining, because we need to take ownership, and ownership means going out and making sure it's funded properly. I say that budgets are a reflection of our priorities and our values. So we need to make sure those budgets reflect that. And so this is why I took on VP of Advocacy for next year, because I want to go out and talk to our elected officials at the county level and at the state level, and even maybe at the national level, and make sure that those budgets are reflecting our values, and make sure that our kids have the best possible environment to learn, no matter what zip code they're in, no matter if their kids, you know, the parents don't have time or the resources to have matching t-shirts and signs advocating for their kids. So hopefully next year we can have an even stronger organization and go forward and advocate together as a community for all our kids. And so thank you so much, Chris. He's been amazing through the years, and I'll really look forward to working with him next year. And thank you to Lynn for leading our organization after a really hard year last year. And so I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers. Thanks.
Thank you. Man, before I had kids, I don't think I really fully grasped how much every child needs an advocate, right? It's just so powerful, and doing what I do every day, I tell so many stories about kids who never had the benefit of an advocate. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing for all of our kids in Montgomery County. Yes, it is. And when you're talking about kids, it's emotional, right? Is it me? Is it me? Well, we love our kids, right? That's why we're all here tonight. We love our kids. Thank you. Well, this next award is brand new to the slate. PTAs are largely dominated by women, right? Let's be honest. Right? They are. But there are many, many motivated, exceptional fathers in the mix as well. And so right now, MCCPTA wants to honor one local PTA dad with an award recognizing his contributions and dedication to our children and youth. So right now, we welcome Lynn Harris to the stage to present this year's Dad for PTA Award to Dr. Sunil Dasgupta.
Hi, everyone. It was my privilege to nominate Sunil for this award this year because he has just amazed me with his energy. He's an unstoppable force. When he has a project or a goal that he wants to accomplish, you just get out of the way. And one of the things that he did for our organization this year was organize our first ever collaborative with multiple county partners, which is another big thing that we've been working on this year in MCCPTA, developing those partnerships. But with our first ever mental health forum in April, which was very well attended. If any of you were there at Gaithersburg High School that Sunday afternoon, there were some amazing and powerful workshops, and that was Sunil. He pulled that together, and I think, and I've talked to him, and the reason he does everything he does is because of his beautiful children who are elementary and middle school, I believe, 6th grade? 7th grade at Earlwood, and 1st and 4th at Bardsley, so he's around for a while.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Frankly, as I think has been pointed out, the pool for the prize for the best PTA dad is rather small. With all due respect, Chris and Neil and Matt and Lang and Rodney and all the other dads. So the pool is small, and I really appreciate being given this award. I want to first important things. The next Mental Health and Wellness Forum is hopefully going to be January 12th, 2019. I'm announcing it now. Hopefully Lynn will agree. Hopefully Dr. Smith will be okay with giving us one of his schools. So please keep that in mind. And I want to make sure that everybody knows early and we do it right. As I was leaving today, my son, 7th grader, he told me, ironic, Dad, that being a PTA dad requires you to be less of a dad at home. You see what I have to live with. But I've spent so many nights out this year. The reward, I think for the narrow reward for my kids is to see the importance of public service. The larger reward, I think, is to bring along every child that goes to school in Montgomery County. And our focus on health and safety is very, very important because without health and safety, we are not going to move forward on academic achievement. There are two people that really, really made my life easier, and they are moms. And I want to give a shout out to them. Gillian Hübner, who is the chair of the School Safety and Climate Subcommittee, and Lisa Klein, who is the co-chair of the Safe Tech Committee. And both of them have been tireless, and they have been extraordinarily supportive in what we have wanted to do in the Health and Safety Committee. So I was going to be away one more night tonight, and it happens to be my littlest daughter's birthday. And so I brought her along. So if you will indulge me, her name is Tula. So if you'll indulge me, okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear you. Happy birthday, dear Tula. Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
That's amazing. You're the inaugural winner of this award. That's pretty good. Tell your son that we're really proud of you when you go home. And did Ms. Tula stand up to get all of her? Can you stand up for us just for a second? You're such a beautiful girl. All right, it is, if this was Wisdom's part in the script, and if he were here, he would really have a field day with the dad, because as an involved dad, he would have said, it's nice to see the dad get some props tonight. He would also ask, how many dads are with us tonight? Can we raise the hands, dads? See? Well, the Partners for Education Award recognizes an organization or an individual that has formed an outstanding program or partnership to support the education and well-being of students in Montgomery County. This year's winner, the ACE Project, will be accepted by Coach Ali Hashimzadeh and several student athletes from Seneca Valley High School. Their goal is to plant the seed of service by completing community service projects in their area. Let's give it up for the ACE Project.
Good evening. My name is Coach Ali, and I am both the girls' basketball and football coach at Seneca Valley High School, located in Germantown, Maryland. Having been inspired by the teachings of Dr. King, I wanted to create an opportunity for our student athletes to go out into our community, help their neighbors while learning from those experiences, planting the seed of service, if you will. While our Germantown community has its own unique challenges, the ACE Project promotes compassion, positive experiences, and civic engagement. The involvement of our student athletes has provided an opportunity to both give back their time and talents to the Germantown community that they live in. They have helped people in time of need, visited local elementary and middle schools, conducted coach drives, a bike drive, raised funds for classrooms, and both held and participated in a local forum discussing issues within our Germantown community. We are very proud to have worked with local law enforcement agencies, PTAs, and other community groups and leaders along the way, as those relationships are vital. Over the past couple of years, these high school students have been both chasing and making positive change in their own neighborhoods and have become leaders and great young adults. They are proud to both represent Seneca Valley and Germantown. While these projects we complete are both large and small at times, the positive message is always received in full, and the smiles and relationships will last a lifetime. By giving to others, the students have become leaders, better students, and are the best representation of their school and our community. They have learned to love helping others, the importance of selflessness, and both giving back. And if I could, real quickly, I wanted to recognize these two young men with me tonight. They both are truly the reason why the ACE Project is what it is today. They have both put in countless hours of service in our community and are always available to jump to help those in need. Amazing young men with huge hearts. To my right, Mr. Lance Wilson, Jr., who currently attends Montgomery College and is a track athlete star in his own right. He wanted me to add that, so. To my left, I have Julian Romero, who's currently a senior at Seneca Valley High School now and off to play football at Stevenson University. And I truly mean this when I say this. These young men represent the future of our community and all that is good within it. This recognition tonight is a direct reflection of their and others' commitment to our Germantown community. I thank you both. One last thing I'd like to add, and it's off script here, so I do apologize. A lot of attention as of late, especially out of our community, has been negative. But as you can see tonight, there's a lot of wonderful and positive things going on in our community that doesn't always make the newspaper headlines. So I feel it's our responsibility as adults, advocates within the community, to promote and support those young adults doing amazing things. Thank you all. We appreciate the award. Y'all go.
The Maryland PTA Lifetime Achievement Award is the highest honor the Maryland PTA bestows. It's for an individual who has demonstrated outstanding service on behalf of children. This year's nominee has served as the bylaws chair this past year, but has also held many PTA positions. Her PTA drive and passion is contagious, and in some cases, when you're talking bylaws, it is relentless. Please welcome Kelly Schooler Reynolds to the stage to receive this year's Maryland PTA Lifetime Achievement Award.
Hey, thank you. This is a great honor to receive this award. And as was mentioned, I've been the bylaws chair for the past year, so that means I follow rules, so I'm not going to say as much as everyone else because I was told to speak for 2 minutes. So I want to thank my nominator, Lynn Harris, and the award committee for the award. It does feel like a lifetime, but in a good way. My first PTA leadership position was the Secretary of DeFeef Elementary School PTA 10 years ago, and I often say that the Secretary of the Elementary School PTA is the gateway position. If they get you with that award, you're in for pretty much a lifetime. So over the past 10 years, I learned that PTA involvement really is the best way to understand what's going on in your local school, in MCPS, and also in local politics. And so I have 2 more years in PTA because my youngest son is in 10th grade right now, but I do know that the friendships will last a lifetime, and I really appreciate that. And after I'm done with PTA, I will still remember the importance of local politics and the Board of Education, so I really encourage everyone to be involved to some extent with PTA.
Thank you.
Well, now it's time for our final 2 awards of the evening, and we're truly surrounded by amazing advocates tonight. We've established that. We have a shout out for a program that helps thousands of students start the school year on the right foot. The MCPS Give Backpacks campaign uses donations from local PTAs and individuals to provide backpacks and school supplies to students who need them. With donations starting at just $10 for a single backpack, up to $50,000 to outfit an entire district, Give Backpacks has a donation level that's right for you. There are directions in the event program on how you can easily make a donation as well. Please consider giving now to help some students in the fall. The National PTA is the nation's largest child advocacy organization. It's the highest honor is the National PTA Lifetime Achievement Award. And this year, we are fortunate to have one of our own receive this prestigious honor. Ms. Harris volunteered to lead MCCPTA at a challenging time. She worked hard to rebuild trust in the organization and its leaders. Lynn was the driving force behind quickly implementing new financial procedures and required budget, theft, and boardmanship training for every board member. She oversaw efforts to update bylaws and committee structure. Her dedication to uphold the integrity of operations helped MCCPTA bounce back stronger than ever. Lynn believes in letting people do what they do best, building the bench by finding people who are passionate about issues affecting children and let them lead with support. Please help me in welcoming to the stage to receive this year's National PTA Lifetime Achievement Award, MCCPTA President Lynn Harris.
I get a pin. Thank you. So, thank you. This is quite an honor. But I believe I've been a little bit remiss in failing to recognize some of the folks that have joined us here this evening. So our superintendent is here, Dr. Smith. And one of the privileges of this office this year has been getting to know and work with him and see how incredibly thoughtful he is about the possibilities of this school system and serving every single student in it, and how committed he is to making sure that this school system works for every single student. And again, it's been a privilege to get to work with him this year. And then also we have some members. I know Dr. Navarro was here, our Chief Academic Officer. She may have gone. And we have several members of the Board of Education here. Jill Ertman-Faust is here. And Shebra Evans is here. Shebra and I got started on the MCCPTA Executive Committee together years ago. And I know Patricia O'Neill was here. I think she had to leave. And we have our regrets from Rebecca Smondrowski and Dr. Judith Daka, who both had personal issues that prevented them from coming and joining us tonight. But it feels silly to take a Lifetime Achievement Award when you're still kind of active in the organization. But still going. But I would want to just give a bit of a shout out to people who have inspired me to leadership positions in this organization, like Kristen Tribble and Janet Gilman and Frances Frost, Kelly Schooler Reynolds. And I think anybody that says that this organization did good work this year, that was a team effort. And I had the most incredible team of executive officers working with me this year, right over there and over here. So I'm going to put you all on the spot. So Matt Swibel, the Vice President of Administration. Neil Oringer, our Vice President of Advocacy, leaving big shoes for Laura to fill. Tracy Potts, who is our Board of Directors Secretary. And Oriel Saw, right behind me, who is our Delegates Assembly Secretary. And the woman who is the architect of the evening, Erin Clegg, our Vice President of Programs. And we also have a powerhouse Vice President of Educational Issues, and any of you who have cared about anything related to curriculum or grading and reporting or this year and saw any of her posts on our listservs or heard her speak at any of our Delegates Assembly know that Cynthia Simonson is a force to be reckoned with. And, you know, you would never want to go up against her about MCPS Jeopardy. That woman knows everything. And she couldn't be with us tonight. She's actually in Arizona on business, but she was an integral part of this team as well. So, again, I really haven't done anything except for what was supported by this incredible team of executive officers, passionate committee chairs, and volunteers, because we are a volunteer organization, and everything we do depends upon the energy that you all bring to the organization. So, thank you very much for this. You all are doing great. You guys are doing great work.
I think we need just one more round of applause, right? That's an amazing recognition. Thank you for the work that you do. The Champion for Children Award is given by Montgomery County Business Roundtable for Education to an individual who is just that, a champion for children. Our nominee exemplifies this award through her efforts as the chair of the MCCPTA Subcommittee on School Climate and Safety and through her expansive philanthropy work. Here is your champion for children, Jillian Hubner.
Thanks. I'm a little unprepared to say things as well, but thank you for this honor. It's been a fun ride. I have Lynn on the soccer sidelines to thank for roping me in. I think I was talking about getting tired of getting on planes and doing international child protection work overseas and getting tired of UN systems and the US government foreign assistance systems. And she said, well, you know, there's another system. It's the school system. And, you know, we too have undocumented children and children who are unaccompanied and violence against children. And also, you know, the list of things that the school system actually has to deal with in addition to educating people. And it was sort of perfect timing. I had been a single parent for a bunch of years and had gotten remarried, so I actually had someone to stay home with my kids so I could go to meetings in the evening. And so it's thanks to my husband that I can be a more active nighttime worker, I guess, as well. But it's just been such a joy. There's so many amazing people. I mean, you all have become my favorite people to spend time with, so who needs to go out and socialize when you can go to an MCCPTA meeting? And frankly, I mean, the challenges in this system are as huge as any I've seen anywhere, and I've worked in some of the worst civil war zones in the world. And that's not to say that, you know, this is a war zone or anything like that, but I mean, these issues are big and they're really serious. And, you know, when I see a Secretary of Education make a blip like the one that we saw this week, my blood rushes and I'm ready to act. And somebody said, are you prepared for what might come? And I said, I'm absolutely prepared. And I will give my 20 years of training and then some to protect the kids in this county. And I know that I'm not alone, and you guys are a huge, huge, huge part of that. And don't underestimate it, because what we know is that 90% of child protection concerns are handled at the community level. So this is frontline humanitarian assistance as far as I'm concerned. So thank you for being here. It's important.
Congratulations and great job to all the award winners this evening, and a very special thanks to MCCPTA Awards and Event Committee members who worked so hard to make this evening of recognition possible. I just want to list the names now: Aaron Clegg, Cherise Scott, Jennifer Kellogg, Daria Daniel, Chris Rotledge, Lee Ma, and Oriel Sa. So can we all give them a round of applause? Hello. And she has a daughter named Allison, so it's really near and dear to my own heart.
Oh, yeah. They took an Allison squared shot earlier.
Yeah, we did. It's going to be so famous.
Thank you, Allison. Well, there are many businesses and organizations in the community that generously support the work of MCCPTA, and we would like to recognize our champion sponsors this evening. We have Kaiser Permanente, Whole Foods, Brad Shear with Digital Armor, Montgomery College, and Montgomery County Public Schools. If you are here tonight from one of our champion sponsors, please stand so that we can you can officially be recognized. We could not do what we do without your generosity and support, so thank you very much. I'd also like to personally thank my event committee, Cherise Scott and Jennifer Kellogg, for helping me rebrand this event from the President's and Principal's Dinner that we've experienced in the past. It's so much more than I could have expected, and you guys were a huge part in making that happen, so thank you, ladies. All right. As many of you know, MCPS is Maryland's largest school district with more than 200 schools and more than 169,000 students and counting. And great things are happening every day in every school. Here's a look at some of this year's highlights.
Isn't that what it's all about? Those memories that shape our kids and our families for years to come. At this time, I'd like to ask you all to join us in thanking Ms. Allison Seymour, Fox 5 News, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
As you all know, she's on the morning news, so she's got like a 3 a.m. call or something ridiculous like that. So we appreciate you and Wisdom for volunteering to join us this evening. You are a member of MCCPTA, so we appreciate your volunteerism as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. When it comes to PTA, getting volunteers in the door can be half the battle. The PTA Membership Awards are a recognition for a job well done in recruiting the school community. A full list of membership awards is in your program, but we want to highlight those PTAs that have grown by 50% or more. Here to recognize these well-deserved PTAs is Membership Chair Carrie Paulson.
Good evening, everybody. As you can see, I have a few awards to give out. I got to get myself sorted out here. I am very proud to be standing here representing all the hard work that membership chairs, presidents, and other board members who are out there being the face of the PTA have grown our organization to approximately 42,000 members this year. So people often ask me why the numbers count. Why do they need members? And I explain it's like a petition. The more members we have, the more power we have to advocate for our children. Each and every member amplifies the voices of the people who work so hard to ensure our students receive a top-notch education in safe facilities here in Montgomery County. So I have several awards to hand out tonight to PTAs that have grown their membership numbers this year. If your membership numbers haven't grown, don't worry. You may have been spending the past years growing and just fighting to hold steady. I see you, I know you're out there. That's the position my own personal unit is in. We all have unique circumstances, and in some cases, every single member is a hard-fought battle. We have to fight against mainstream media that portrays PTA moms as a bunch of mean girls. We have to educate newcomers to our country who are not familiar with the PTA, why it's important and what we actually do. We have to convince people that we aren't going to make them do hundreds of hours of volunteer work if they turn in that form. So thank you to everyone who reaches out face-to-face to engage parents at your school. Some days it's tough. We want to pick up our kids, run to the grocery, go home, and we have a parent ask us a question. So what do? We put a smile on our face, help explain things to the parent, and we've created a membership moment. It might not pan out right then, but that is what lays the groundwork for growing our membership. So, as you can see, we have a lot of PTAs that grew this year. These PTAs, the bronze level, the silver level, take a look and hopefully you see your school's name on here. We will be sending all of their certificates via Pony to them. We won't have everybody come up here tonight. So we had many grow up to 5%. Silver, you can see we had even more grow from 6% to 24%. Then we had our gold memberships. They grew from 25% to 49%, quite a few of those as well. And our platinum membership, they grew from 50% to 99%. And I will also be sending their certificates via the Pony to them. And our most amazing PTAs are those that have grown by 100% or more. Our diamond PTAs, and I'll send those out as well. Now we have our trophies, and these PTAs are our Build It and Sustain It. This year alone, they've grown by more than 100 members. We have Silver Creek Middle School. If anyone is present, we have Roberto Clemente Middle School. North Bethesda Middle School. Clarksburg High School, Woodfield Elementary School, Piney Branch Elementary School, Damascus Elementary School, Clear Spring Elementary School, Beverly Farms Elementary School. And then I have a trophy for the school from each level that grew the most in pure numbers, not percentages, but pure numbers. So we have Kensington Parkwood Elementary School. Anybody's here? I have a trophy for you. We have Herbert Hoover Middle School. This one surprised me because they had almost 500 members last year, and I said, that seems like a pretty healthy PTA. Well, this year they had close to 1,000. So I need to talk to them and get them on this committee up here. And we have Winston Churchill High School. And you... Then we have our Engage It Awards. These are the members, the numbers where we compare how many students are at the school versus how many members they have. We have schools, that have 300 members, schools that have close to 3,000, it feels like sometimes. So this, we figure, is a fair way to figure this out. So the elementary, we have Potomac Elementary School in 3rd place. We have Belmont Elementary School in 2nd place. And Garrett Park Elementary School in 1st place with the trophy. Okay, from the middle school level, we have Silver Creek Middle School in 3rd place. Herbert Hoover Middle School in 2nd place. And Cabin Jaw Middle School in 1st place. Excellent. And for the high schools, what an intro. Walter Johnson High School in 3rd place. Walt Whitman High School in 2nd place. And Winston Churchill again in 1st place. So do you have enough hands? So thank you, everyone. Keep recruiting those members. They are who we need.
Congrats to everyone that received a membership award this evening. I'd like to next introduce Lynn if she has any comments on our outgoing officers. Of course she does.
Yes, they're fabulous. They are absolutely fabulous. So we have 3 members of our executive committee who are not going to be returning with us next year. Matt Swibel, VP Admin. Neil Oringer is our VP of Advocacy. Both of our men left. What's that about? And then Cheryl Pierce, our fabulous treasurer, who will not be returning. But again, I think I'm very proud of the work this organization did this year. And it was a complete team effort, and these folks have been an integral part of that. Yes. And now we're going to swear in our next year's executive committee, and we have with us from Maryland PTA the president-elect Edna Harvin Battle.
Thank you, Lynn. I bring you greetings from Maryland State PTA. And I'm Edna Harvin Battle, President-elect for Maryland State PTA. To the PTA volunteers, educators, students, administrators, and education stakeholders, I bring you greetings from our directors. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to install the new officers this year. But first, I'd like to acknowledge the outgoing officers. Would you please stand? Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Will the incoming officers for the Montgomery County Council of PTA Associations please come forward? I need a gold star for Lynn, a gold star and Lynn. When you first became a PTA member, you showed you cared about children by choosing to join. Now, as a member of the Montgomery County PTA Association, you show your dedication to children by choosing to lead this council. I know that each of you will do your best to work for every child, one voice. That's our tagline. The purpose of the Maryland State PTA is, and our national purpose is, and I want to redirect this to you, to serving children and youth. Okay. The purpose of the PTA, to promote the welfare of children and youth in homes, school, places of worship, and throughout the community. To raise the standards of home life. To advocate for laws that further the education, physical and mental health, welfare, and safety of children and youth. To promote the collaboration and engagement of families and educators in the education of youth and children. To engage the public in united efforts to ensure the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social well-being of all children and youth, and to advocate for physical responsibilities regarding public tax bills and public education funding, making every child's potential a reality. The STAR installation, and I'd like your assistance. When we come to the beginning of a new administration, we always confront with making the choice of the roads that we shall take as a journey forth towards new challenges and opportunities. Since you are now accepting the responsibilities of leadership for the coming year, you shall be guiding the lights on the roads you take. These stars, as we pass them out, are a constant thing in our ever-changing world. Through the ages, the stars have guided men and women by land and sea safely back home. President Lynn Harris, would you please step forward? Many colors are reflected from our stars. As president of the PTA Council, we give you this star, which reflects gold light. Okay. Your light must shine pure and unceasingly with the faith of the objectives of the Montgomery County PTA Association and faith in those whom you are to serve. It will be your duty to keep the council PTA's character warm with light and life, and to give guidance that will ensure and stimulate the members to participate in the mission of our organization. It's a high tribute to serve as a guiding light of the council. Do you accept this office and promise to fulfill your duties as president?
I do.
Okay. Step back. Vice President for Education, Cynthia Simonson. She's not here. Vice President for Administration, Tracy Potts. Would you please step forward? Vice President for Programs, Aaron Clegg. And Vice President for Advocacy, Laura Stewart. As you accept this star, you will note the prominent light is red, denoting vitality, friendship, and growth. You will have the duty of harmonizing your light with the golden light of the presidents to brighten the way for those who will look to you 4, leadership. It will be the duty to act for the president respectively during the absence of that officer or upon designation of duties to you as a president's alternate. Through your cooperation and effectiveness, you can promote activities that will give vitality to your programs and projects, which will have long-lasting influence. Will you accept this office and let your light so shine? Yes. We do? Yes. Okay, thank you. Delegates, Assembly Secretary Orland, Board of Directors, blue. It's Darian Daniel. Board of Directors, Secretary Darian, okay. Your stars predominating the color is blue, symbolizing the harmony and faithfulness that should be the guiding light of your office. It is your will and duty to always be present so that the proceedings of the meetings will be faithfully recorded. Your light must also shine to reveal an accurate record of the business, the achievements, and the activities of your PTA council during the coming year. Will you accept these duties and let your light so shine? Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Treasurer Christie. Okay. She's silver, yeah. The guiding light of your star is silver, which symbolizes loyalty and the light of truth that must accompany your office. Unto your hands are placed all monetary matters. Through continued sound business produce, you must safeguard all funds, dispensing them only at times and in such manners as the PTA Council may instruct. To guide the members to new efforts, your light must reflect prudence, principle, and leadership, and replenishing the Council PTA's funds through worthwhile activities and calling attention to good and necessary use of the funds. Will you accept your duties and keep your star of trust shining bright?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. To you, the members of the Montgomery County Council of PTA, I dedicate this galaxy of stars as a symbol of the promise and commitment to our children. Will you join forces with our galaxy and help them to achieve brightness that will have a lasting effect on the Montgomery County Council of Parent Teachers Association? Okay. Incoming officers, you have pledged to fulfill your duties. I therefore, as installing officer, now declare you duly installed executive officers of the Montgomery County Council of PTA Association. Now, will the Montgomery County Council of PTA new Board of Directors members please stand? The cluster coordinators. Okay. To the new Board of Directors, clusters coordinators, there could be no greater charge, no higher challenge than that which you are now being offered by the Montgomery County Council of PTA. May you enter upon your office with the steadfast purpose of serving only as you can serve. Do you accept this challenge and charge? Please signify by saying, "We do." We do. Okay, it is now the time that I have the pleasure of declaring you all duly installed officers of the Montgomery County PTA Council Board of Directors for the year of 2018-19 term. Congratulations.